Good morning again, everyone. So today we're going to be doing a nice cold weather recipe. We're going to be making some homemade bread, and the best part about it is there are only 4 ingredients. So I guess if I use both hands, that makes 8. So we only have 4 ingredients that we need for this, which makes it awesome. And there's a good chance it's already stuff you have in your cabinet. So if you're running low on things for a deli meat sandwich or just toast for breakfast, you can do this. It's a little bit of a time consuming one, but it can be done in advance if you know you're running low, or if you just want to try making something on your own. It's super simple. So we'll hop into that now. So here we have all that we're gonna need. So we have water right there, our all-purpose flour back there, salt here, and then here we have some yeast that we're going to use to activate the bread. So I'll measure all of these out and put them into the bowl, and I'll be back with you in just a second. So for flour, we're going to need 3 cups to go in our mixing bowl to start. So there's 1, 2, and that'll make 3. The next, we're going to go in with our salt. We have 1 teaspoon, measuring spoon here. So we're just going to dump a little bit of this out into here. Try to get a nice even pour if we can. I'd say that's about good. So we'll drop that in on top. All right, so now I have my 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon ready to go, and I have my yeast. I'm just gonna dip right into this. So there we go. I'm gonna put that in on top. And that's it for the dry ingredients. So now all we need is some water. So something you should know about the water, which we're going to need 1.5 cups of for this recipe, is that when you dip your finger into it after it's poured, it should feel lukewarm, which in the eyes of my mom, who usually makes this recipe, that means that you can't really tell that your finger's being submerged in water. So try to get it as close to like body temp as you can. That's just to prevent it from killing the yeast and the bacteria that lives in that, and then that would mean that our bread doesn't rise. So try to do that when you're measuring this out. Temperature is very important on the water. For a few hours. You can do this overnight. Not that I am necessarily, but this can be done overnight, anywhere between 8 and 24 hours. So we'll just take this little cover, set it on top, and then, so now we're going to set this right in here, and we can just forget about it for a little bit of time. As you can see here, it's 10:51, and we will be coming back to this later. All right, so now that we're set back up here, this is kind of a funky angle, but it's the only way I could really show the whole board. We are going to scrape the bread, or our mixture that's to be bread, out of here, and then set it on here. So while I do this, I'm gonna cut the recording for a little bit, and I'll meet you back when I have it on the board itself. All right, so now that we have this over here, I did go ahead and put an 8-inch baking tray, not tray, but bowl sort of thing in the oven already to heat up while the oven itself is preheating. But now our main goal is to form this into a ball, soak up the flour that we have on the board, and then I also have, just for a little extra flavor, 2 1/2 cups of cheese here. Here we have a 6 cheese Italian blend, and this one is just Asiago. And then I also have a little bit of Italian seasoning that we're going to sprinkle in. But first we're going to go ahead and mold this into a ball, just kind of folding the edges up, over, and into the middle, trying to soak up this flour as we go. All right, so now we're back from the little 30-minute wait of letting it sit out. And next step we're gonna do is with a serrated knife. We're just going to score it with an X. And reason we do this is it just kind of allows the heat from inside to escape a little bit better when we actually put it in. And this is looking less like an X and more like an I don't even know what. So I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead. All right, and then now moving over to the stovetop, the little bowl container thing that we've had in the oven now for a while. It's probably been in there for about 50 minutes preheating. So since that's nice and warm now, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Be sure not to touch it. It's gonna be really, really hot. It is, I can already feel it through the hot pads that I have my hands on. And then we're just gonna take our bread with the parchment paper still on it, drop it down in, try to make sure it's pretty even in here, and that looks good enough to me. I might just rescore this quick before it goes in fully. Close enough, okay. And we will put that in the oven now on 450, which is what we've been letting it preheat to, for about 30 minutes. So I will set my timer and be back with you ASAP. Ah, I also forgot to mention in that this is over here because we are going to cover this while it's in the oven for these first 30 minutes. So let me just set that on top of here. And now we can forget about it for a while. All right, so now we're back about 30 minutes later, and we're gonna go again with our hot pad and just take off that pan that we had covering it. And we should see that it's risen a little bit. Okay, it's got a little bit to it. And now we're gonna leave this in for another 15 minutes uncovered, and I'll see you again after that. All right, so those last 15 minutes are up now, and we're gonna go ahead and take the breadboard again, set it out on our countertop. And then now that we have this out here, we're gonna go ahead again with our 2 hot pads and get it out of the oven. And I'm gonna put my phone down for this so that I don't injure myself or not get the shot correctly. So I'll see you from a different angle. Now that we have this out of the oven and it's still in this little cooker, we want to get it out so that it stops cooking, and we'll transfer the parchment paper and the bread itself to the breadboard just to cool for a while. So I'll show you that next. Now that we have this out, we'll just leave it here to cool for a bit. So now we've let it cool for a little bit. I'm enjoying my second piece now. It's really, really good. So I'm enjoying it. And the rest of my family has too. So although this one takes a little bit of time, it produces a really good product. It's really good. It would be good for dipping things into, or if you just wanted to have it with some butter on top, it's excellent for that as well. And this has been Curt's Kitchen. I'll see you next time.